Yes, everybody, how are we doing? Sam here, United People's TV. It's Champions League night tonight, and it's a big one. It is a big one. Man United away at Galatasaray. It's going to be a hell of an atmosphere. 5:45 p.m. UK time kickoff, by the way. Don't get caught out by that. We've got the early kickoff. There's going to be a few people caught out by that. I guarantee you. But look, I'm going to run through. There's a fair amount to talk about this morning. Ten Hag in his pre-match press conference speaking about, what's needed. He speaks about the atmosphere. He runs through a few things. Start the show. We've got a little bit to moan about when it comes to VAR, when it comes to just the way the game's going. I think we're going to be doing this probably twice a week until football doesn't exist anymore, probably. And then we're going to speak about 4 signings in January. Yeah, mate. Odd then. Wishful thinking. But I'm going to run through an article from Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian and discuss the players that he discusses. We're going to run through the starting 11 and all that jazz. All right. Who's down here for the member gang? Let's have a look. The Biker Boy, Gaminda, good morning to both of you. Madhouse, you're there. We've got Lebo, Toby, Oleo, Anuj, good morning to you. Carl, you're there. Andrew Wright. Jiu-Jitsu, we've got Diego, Danieo, AJ, Fizz, Chris, you're there. Cornish Maid, Mass Horn, SSMUFC, and we've got Natasha. Good morning to all of you. And I'm sure you're there as well. And Josh and T and all the regs, all the OGs. Who's on Facebook? Will Blackman, good morning to you. Steve. We've got Royston de Boyston. That's a 10 out of 10 name. Royster 59. Yeah, boy. Do you remember him from Game Radio on GTA 3? Game Radio. Dan McGann, good morning to you. Danny Eames. There's plenty of you tuning in. Nice to see you all tuning in. Let's get straight into it. Actually, I'll tell you what I want to do at the start of this video. I don't know whether this is going to get shut down for copyright, but I found this hilarious when I saw it on Reddit this morning, so I want to show you. This is keep an eye on what Scott McTominay does after Alejandro Garnacho scored his overhead kick against Everton. He basically says, look, go and wind up the Everton fans. Oh, God, off your little worm. And did you see what Maguire? McTominay did that, sort of jogged that, basically pulled the pin out of the grenade, threw it, then just jogged off. And then Maguire came up to him and said, no, hold on, mate, come on in, turn it around. 2 completely different approaches from McTominay and Maguire. That just cracked me up. And there's another video clip I want to pull you up and show you soon. There's a couple of things I want to run through and talk about. And this is definitely the first one from last night, right? It's the talking point this morning everywhere. And it's just, first of all, what a shame. I mean, it's such a shame because we're playing Newcastle weekend, of course. I'd rather them not come to play us after beating PSG away. So real shame. But I mean, come on. Hits Livramento in the chest and then hits his arm. Exactly the same sort of situation as Martinez last season against Sociedad that forced us to have that extra knockout to double legger against Barcelona. It comes off your chest. It comes off a body part and deflects onto your arm. It was just, again, the way the game is going, and then look, you see what the reaction is this morning. The guy who was, guy or woman, I don't know, who was on VAR yesterday has been removed from the same role tonight between Sociedad and Salzburg. Okay. It's just like, it is, I don't know. I wonder how many games, I can't be asked to do it. And if anybody could, I think you could probably spend your time better on a lot of other things. But I wonder how many games have been wrongly impacted by a decision like that, and late on as well. Was it like Fulham? There were 2 penalties in the Fulham win over Wolves. Last minute penalty, and there was the last minute penalty was harsh. The one that before was like ridiculously harsh. It's like penalties used to be, I don't know, a bit rarer. Like most games now, I don't know whether you're the same as me. You kind of expect a penalty to be given these days. I think so anyway. Josiah saying, who was robbed, Newcastle or PSG? Well, of course, Newcastle. From that position, I'll be honest, like PSG were all over them. It was kind of one of those performances, a little bit like, I don't know, Chelsea away at Barcelona. You know when they did it, when they won the cup that year. And it's just everything was going against them, but they somehow didn't concede. But VAR. And you know what's even better than VAR? Let's bring in sin bins. Let's bring in cheerleaders, light shows before. Light shows already exist. I don't know. Halftime Super Bowl performances. What else can we bring in? We can bring in offensive and defensive teams. We can bring in like timeouts. Anything else we can bring in? Sin bins for orange cards brought in because of tactical fouls. I don't know whether. I think part of me thinks the idea of a sin bin, there's a feasible concept around it, but like tactical fouls being orange cards, what you got? Yeah, oh, come on, man. I don't know how they can be so bad at sort of reinforcing rules. You've got a different set of rules in Europe compared to the so this wouldn't get given in the Premier League, I don't think. But in European football, it can do. So Beyonce at halftime. I'm laughing. I'm not really laughing. Seriously. It is pretty bad. It's just every single week, somewhere in football, it's just like there's something in a big game where you should just be talking about the football where you're not talking about the football. Rob's saying, didn't Crystal Palace have cheerleaders? I'm pretty sure they were called the Crystals. I'm pretty sure I was there. Back. I don't know if they still have them actually. Any Crystal Palace fans tuning in? You still got the Crystals? No idea. I think it's more like a lower league thing. It was. But anyway, let's talk about something that I'll be honest. This might be one of the my favorite things I've seen Erik Ten Hag do as Manchester United manager, and certainly when it comes to the press. Now, you know full well what I think about the large majority of the coverage of Manchester United. But to hear, I believe this is Matt Smith, who is, I think, is one of the lead presenters on TNT Sports, BT Sport, or Discovery Plus, wherever the bloody hell you watch it now. And listen to this clip. I'll play this clip maybe a couple of times, but just look at Ten Hag's reaction to what's said to him.
Feels an important week for you. You're a little bit at a point where the season can really improve, or another crisis, as we like to see from the outside.
Yeah, you like it?
Well, I guess...
Okay, that's quite honest.
Yeah.
You want to see that, but we don't care about that.
Yeah.
Eh?
I genuinely love that, right? I absolutely loved that from Ten Hag. One more time, just in case you missed it, all right?
Feels an important week for you. You're a little bit at a point where the season can really improve, or another crisis, as we like to see from the outside.
Yeah, you like it?
Well, I guess...
Okay, that's quite honest.
Yeah.
You want to see that, but we don't care about that.
Yeah.
Eh?
To have a journalist in front of Ten Hag saying, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we actually like it when you're in crisis. And he's like, oh, you like it, do you? That's pretty honest of you. Because I think this is something that Ten Hag has sort of developed over time at United. I think when he came to the club, does anybody remember? I'll ask this as a quiz question. Does anybody remember something that Erik Ten Hag did in his first press conference as Manchester United manager that kind of caught everybody by surprise? There was one thing he did with all the journalists. And we'll see if you can remember what it was. Because him doing that was his way of saying, look, okay, I'm coming to Manchester United as the new manager. I want to build a relationship with all of you. Let's see if we can start off on the right foot. Exactly, Dan. He went round and he shook the hand of every single journalist. Everyone. Yeah, you can remember that. He greeted everybody. He said, hello, I'm Erik. This is what it is. He went in because if a manager has the press on side, it kind of makes his job a little bit easier, right? And that's why you can't... Erik Ten Hag couldn't have gone in all guns blazing. There was somebody who, I think it was in leaving a comment before the show was live, saying, wow, why is everybody praising Erik Ten Hag now for something that he should have learned after a week at the club? He couldn't have... He could have, if he wanted to. He could have gone for the media straight away. But that that would have been getting him off to the wrong foot. So last season, when things were going well, there was good press. But I think what Ten Hag has learned really in these last probably like 6 weeks or so, like even though United have had what feels like an unprecedented injury crisis as far as we're concerned at that point in the season, and despite the fact that we were the form team in the Premier League, everybody was gunning for his job. And everybody was still trying to sort of step on his head. And I hope that's something that's sort of changed in his mentality. And that clip right there is just indicative of it. And it's something that I keep saying to all United fans, man. I look, Josh, you're saying, is that the penny drop moment? I hope that is the penny drop moment. It's certainly the penny drop moment in terms of Ten Hag vocalizing it. He may already think it behind the scenes, but to actually call out the journalists for saying it right there one more time. I want to see that clip one more time. I love his deadpan delivery of it as well.
Feels an important week for you, or a little bit at a point where the season can really improve, or another crisis, as we like to see from the outside?
Yeah, you like it?
Well, I guess...
Okay, that's quite honest.
Yeah.
You want to see that, but we don't care about that.
Yeah.
Eh?
It's 10 out of 10 on delivery. I've got to give him that. Because I think no manager at Manchester United is ever really going to succeed unless he properly understands that. It really is everyone against United. And it has been. And that's what happens when you've dominated the Premier League for 20 years. All right. And that won't ever change. That's just the circumstances. It's just, I really enjoyed that. Probably more than I should have. And I feel that it's because over these last couple of months, Ten Hag has sort of realised, he goes, well, it doesn't really matter what I do right, does it? It just, they're still going to try and drown me. Jonathan, you're saying, have you noticed that Ten Hag doesn't have a go back at these interviewers? I mean, that wasn't really a nibble. That was just like immediately calling out the bullshit. It was like Carl Pilkington calling out bullshit, man. That's what Ten Hag did there. And I hope that's sort of getting reflected across the dressing room. Because that United dressing room, again, we will not be winning the Premier League again. We will not be winning the Champions League again until that mentality literally goes through every fibre of our club. From the manager to the players to, well, let's not speak about the owners. Yeah, and this is something that I've been saying to so many, like, why are you listening? I think the Varane story, for example, is, I think, in my head, one of the standout examples of this in these last, sod knows, couple of months. Varane dropped for the game against City, Johnny Evans, and we were told it was tactical reasons. And I was like, I questioned it. And as it all came out, the Athletic saying that Varane was fine with it, and then you're seeing TalkSport saying that Varane has fallen out. Unfortunately, you're seeing United stand with a headline saying broken relationship between Ten Hag and Varane, and then all of a sudden people are talking about that. Oh, Ten Hag's lost the dressing room. Oh, Ten Hag has fallen out with another player, and it's divisive, and it doesn't help Manchester United. Everybody else can feast on it, try and cut United up and get another story out of it, get another video out of it. But it doesn't help the club. And I think that the way that Varane situation has gone down, look, man, Maguire's our best current defender. He's playing right centre-back. And Ten Hag just doesn't trust Varane at left centre-back. And that's it. All right? And you can disagree with that if you want, right? You can disagree with that if you want. But that's Ten Hag's opinion. He doesn't trust Varane enough at left centre-back. But instead of it being just a tactical reason, no, he's got a broken relationship. It's fractured. It's this and it's that. Oh, he's losing the dressing room. And what happens, this here is, it's like Chinese whispers. And it just gets turned into something completely different. So to hear Erik Ten Hag calling out the press like that, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And it's ahead of a game tonight where, I'll read a few of your comments out about this. Let me see what you're saying. Lee saying Fergie earned the right to criticise the press and they were afraid to write a backstory. If Ten Hag bites back, the press will try and destroy him. It's something that will come over time. Fergie gained that respect by just being, well, the absolute dogs as a manager in the Premier League, and he just kept winning it. And they couldn't, man, what you do against me, I'm still going to win it. And then they realised, well, actually, no, we kind of can't really do that anymore. and then he controlled them. So that sort of respect will come with winning. But it feels like Ten Hag's got quite a bit of control in the press. It feels like it does anyway. Varane was shaking hands with Ten Hag. Saw that yesterday. It's good to see, I suppose. What are you saying? We all know they prefer us in a crisis. Yeah, but to hear a journalist sort of say it directly to Ten Hag's face is bullshit, to say the least, which is what Ten Hag did. Should be banning him. I love that. Remember when Fergie did that? He called out people for that. I'd love to see. I think I said I would love to see Fergie do that too. I think it was Samuel Luckhurst. Yeah, I'd like to see that. But look, let's speak about the game tonight, because it's a big one. I spoke about this on the podcast with the lads yesterday. If you haven't listened to it, by the way, listen to the podcast this morning. If you want to, we go over the Everton game. We speak about the Galatasaray game. You might enjoy it. Do a bit clean, put that on the background. I'll give you the link here, actually. It's free, of course. Listen to it wherever you want to listen to it. Spotify, Apple, all that jazz. But the team, all right, let's run through the travelling squad. Let's run through a couple of comments from Ten Hag ahead of the game, and then my starting 11 and my prediction, and I can get yours, all right? But that's the photos of the travelling team. This is the actual full travelling squad. 3 goalkeepers, Bayindir, Heaton, and Onana. Heaton's fit, didn't know that. Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire, Reguilon, Shaw, Varane, and Wan-Bissaka. So no surprises there, I don't think. I don't think there's surprises of any players missing either. Amrabat, Bruno, Dangor, he's in. Hannibal, Kobbie Mainoo, and Scott McTominay. Obviously, no Casemiro, no Eriksen. And up front, we've got Anthony. He's travelled. Garnacho's travelled. Højlund has travelled. Joe Hugill again. Anthony Martial and Facundo Pellistri. That's the full travelling squad there tonight. And I think, is that it there? Yep. So this is the under-19s team that's playing Galatasaray, I think, in like 40 minutes. You've got the Fletcher twins starting in midfield. You've got Hansen Aaron starting up front. I like Willy Cambuola, the centre-back. If it wasn't for an injury that like basically took a year out of his career, I think there'd be conversations about Cambuola and coming through as a centre-back from the academy, if I'm honest. So I'm hoping the next season we might be having those conversations. It's just that his progress has been a little bit delayed. But it's interesting to see the Fletcher twins starting with each other. But one player you'll notice who isn't there is Dangor. So Dangor was named in the under-19 squad, I think, but then he's actually not involved at all. So he will be part of the first team setup. Well, I say first team setup. Rashford, of course, everyone's asking where Rashford is. Rashford's banned. That's why Joe Hugill's got himself a spot in that team. Rashford's suspended for 1 game. This is what Ten Hag's been saying ahead of the game, right? In terms of the performance, because that we have to do similar like we did against Everton, but to get the energy for it, of course, we're in a different environment with even more noise, and we have to deal with that environment, with the situation, and make it our game. He said it was a team performance against Everton. From the first whistle, we took control of that game, and this is the point where I spoke to you about this as well. It wasn't a perfect 90 minutes. I think he said it there. We had a tough period in the game. It was between us scoring the first goal and the 20-minute mark. It was total dominance. And then between the 20-minute mark and us getting the penalty was probably Everton were on top, but we didn't concede. A couple of good saves, a couple of bad misses. Then we got the second, and from that second goal going in, we had proper control, man. Real control. It was great. And then we got the third, and the third killed the game. You take off Mainoo, you take off Shaw, you can rest players. That's what you can do at 3-0. But rarely do United get into that position. But tonight is going to be a big one, right? What's your sort of expectations of tonight? My expectations of the Everton game was completely different to what happened. Of course, nobody can predict that you're going to score a worldie like that. No, but I didn't expect United to score that early. And I didn't expect United to have that much control for 20 minutes. And then kind of how the game went from then on, I was expecting more of that, Everton to be more on top. But Galatasaray, right? United have to bring their A game tonight. Okay? Bayern Munich, they went there, and it's not an easy place. Copenhagen went there and they went ahead. Did they go 2-0 up and ended up losing 3-2? I don't know whether that might be the case. But Bayern went there and it wasn't an easy win. United are going there tonight and it will not be an easy game. There's not going to be any part of that pitch tonight, I think, where we are given opportunities to be comfortable. Just like easy possession, knocking it about, no pressure on the ball, space. I'm going to see what you're saying down here. Well, Klein, you disagree. You said it's going to be a walkover. I don't think it's going to be a walkover. For tonight, we just got to survive the first 30, says Alex. Then it's easy sailing. Well, dude, it's not going to be easy sailing. There's no easy way out of tonight. And you're saying you're expecting a tight, rough game. Yeah. I think Galatasaray fans will absolutely remember Welcome to Hell. Last time we went there with Cantona. They will remember that. And they are going to play up to it. They are going to enjoy the occasion. The fans are anyway. So what I'm going to do now is run through the team that I predicted yesterday and see if you disagree with what I put in. Let's run through it, right? So I said I didn't expect there to be any changes in the back five, right? Erik Ten Hag typically has shown that he doesn't change much unless he needs to. And he kept a clean sheet. We've got 3-4 clean sheets away from home in a row, something like that. I don't think Ten Hag changes that back five. Now, you might say, well, Sam, we need Varane in for his Champions League experience. I'm sorry, but I'm not dropping Harry Maguire right now on form. And if Erik Ten Hag doesn't trust Rafa Varane at left centre-back, then the conversation is mute. Varane won't start. Varane might come on. Let's see there. I would start Luke Shaw again. If you're taking him off after 70 minutes, hopefully he's completely fine. And it's Delo or Wan-Bissaka at right back. I don't really know who, but the reason I'm putting that in is because, well, Delo got the assist for Garnacho, and Erik Ten Hag doesn't particularly change unless he needs to over the course of how he's managed his football club. So I don't think it's going to change anything in the back five. But I've put... Now, this is probably going to be wrong, okay? Because he's probably going to play McTominay. But I've put Amrabat in there to play alongside Mainu. Because I know that Mainu really thrived in that isolated role against Everton. Okay. That's a good point down there. Jonathan, you just mentioned there, Wan-Bissaka against Zaha. Maybe that will go in. Maybe that is exactly what's going to happen. But I don't think that if there's going to be a change in that defense, I think it will be Zaha. Sorry, I think it'll be Delo and Wan-Bissaka. I think that's the only change that could happen in that back five. I mean, you could get Varane, but I don't think so. What do you think about midfield, though? Because Mainu obviously played against Everton. Mainu operated more like that. That was McTominay, who operated more in that position, and Bruno more in that position. It was more like Kobe Mainu was a... So right down there, I can see so many of you are saying, look, man, you need to get Delo off and Wan-Bissaka on. So let's do that. This will be the community starting 11. You got my one there, but you're changing Wan-Bissaka in. Who do you think the midfield three is? Who do you think it will be? You can fire any comments on Facebook and YouTube. I won't just do a poll. But mainly operated more like a number 6, like a isolated number 6 against Everton. I just wonder whether or not we'll see Amrabat come in and play more kind of alongside Kobe Mainu. So instead of him playing there in an isolated role, it's dropping McTominay, getting rid of that goal threat that he brings, but bringing in Amrabat for a little bit more control. Somebody who actually wants the ball at his feet. That means that Mainu and Amrabat can kind of knock it round to each other, play around the press. I don't know. It's either Amrabat or McTominay. And, well, history, last few weeks have showed us that Ten Hag really does have a lot of belief in McTominay. Even if there is a lack of... McTominay just doesn't show for the ball. It's not part of his game. He naturally doesn't. He'll naturally turn the other direction and go, oh, well, I've got to go the other way. Let me see what you're saying down here. Mainu, Amrabat, and Bruno, says Carl. What else he's got down there? As much as I'd love Amrabat and Mainu, Managers seem to revert to McTominay in big games. Bruno, Manu, and Scott. Has to be the same as the weekend, says Pat on Facebook. I think you're probably right. No, Erik, you're saying don't change anything in midfield. Amrabat and Manu have the same attributes. Exactly. That's why I want them to stay in midfield together. It's not as if same attributes, they're going to be stepping on each other's toes. They'll be having the same attributes, but on two slightly different parts of the pitch. Therefore, the ability to recycle possession and actually just maintain control is increased because you have two players who have the same attributes, rather than McTominay, who, if he comes on, will not really drop into. I mean, he can drop into the double pivot, but I really do not. Hate's a strong word. I do not like McTominay in the double pivot at all. I never will. He never was that player. But look, judging by what everyone's saying in the comments there, you're kind of expecting more of the same sort of midfield shape that we saw against Everton. All right, I'll put that in. McTominay, you've put McTominay in for Amrabat, and you've put in Wan-Bissaka in for Dalot. What about the front three? All right. And you're right, wondering whether Ten Hag will prioritize the weekend. Honestly, and I'm not saying this just to be controversial. I promise I'm not. If you tell me right now that Man United can only win one game between Newcastle and Galatasaray, what one are you choosing? Because I'm personally choosing Newcastle. And there's going to be a lot of people that sort of, I suppose, get angry about that. But genuinely, I think that the Champions League, because of the injuries that we've had at the start of the season, it's just, we're kind of bitten off more than we can chew. The squad depth isn't there enough. We've got the starting 11 and a little bit of depth. Yeah, sure. But the injuries we've had, wow. If I had to choose one game to win, and I'm saying like gun to your head, I'm not saying that we can win both of them. Sure, of course we can. But gun to your head, you got to choose one. I'm choosing Newcastle. I don't know whether Ten Hag's going to do that though, because it is a massive game. Majority of you are saying Newcastle. Isaac, you're saying Galatasaray. A few of you are saying Galatasaray. It'll be interesting. Really interesting to see how we play tonight. What I think the 11 will be as strong as it can be. But I think Ten Hag would prefer to prioritise Newcastle. But geez, when you've got 3 away games against Everton, Galatasaray, and Newcastle in the week, it's gonna be tough. But who would you put in as the front three then? Right. So you can see who I brought in there. I've got Højlund in to start. I've got Garnacho out on the left wing, and I've got Anthony out on the right wing. Imole, you're saying why not both? I want both. You're not listening to the question I'm asking you. I want both. I'm saying if you go into your head and you've got to choose one, which are you putting down as a priority? You have to. It's just a question, dude. All right. Yeah, it can be both. You're just not listening to me. But that's the front three I've gone for. Garnacho on the left, Højlund through the middle, and Anthony on the right. Now, there's going to be people down there. I don't even need to read the comments. I will in a sec. Oh, get Anthony out of the team. Pelistri's got to start. Get him off. Oh, there you go. Comes in straight away. I think in this sort of occasion, I think Ten Hag will kind of want is that Anthony's a bit of a scrapper. He is. He's a bit dirty. It's kind of part of his game. And I think that will suit Manchester United more from the start than Pellistri would. Do I think Pellistri can impact this game? Yeah, I do. Absolutely do. I think Pellistri can impact this game far more from the bench than he can from the starting 11. And that's actually what Ten Hag called for. He said, look, Pellistri has shown that he can impact games from the bench, but he needs to prove himself as a starter. And people go, oh, well, you got to start him then. He started away at Bayern Munich. And then he started, I think, in the league game a few days later. And I don't think he did enough from those starting positions. I think he is a really good impact player from the bench. I mean, from the bench, right? The players that we can bring on that can change this game or have an impact on it are Pellistri, Martial, Amrabat, and Hannibal. They're the 4 players that I would say can come off the bench and change it. Diego, you're saying, is Højlund fit enough? Big question, right? If Højlund's not completely fit, I think we're really going to struggle tonight. Because I think we're going to need a little bit of an aggressive front press. We can't just let ourselves get camped in our own half and kind of knocking it forward. I think this game would suit Martial from the bench. I think this game would suit Pellistri from the bench. These players can all impact the team, but they can't all start. Josiah, it's a good point there. Dangor could well come in, but if I'm being completely honest, if I'm looking at who we've got, he's probably gonna trust. Right, let's put Dangor over here because he will be part of the squad. Right, but Dangor is probably unlikely to get the nod ahead of Hannibal. Hannibal, who's sort of proven himself, and not in every occasion. I think it was Copenhagen at home where he sort of played more like he did with the youth team, like just over exuberant, and got a yellow and looked like he was going to get a red. But I think Hannibal, if you need to bring that energy into midfield, that's who you're going to bring in. Gore is more of a you kind of play him a little bit deeper. Dan Gore is such a wicked player, actually. I do like playing him. Watching him, sorry. But that's the team you've gone for there. I think the majority of you are saying Anthony on the right-hand side, and you kind of agree with me, rather than Pelistri. But, ooh. Like, what is your... I've already ran through my prediction yesterday. What is yours? All right. My prediction was a 2-1 win. It's an optimistic 2-1 win. Because it's going to be an easy game. All right. It's going to be an easy game. Galatasaray fans will be up for it. Therefore, the Galatasaray team will be up for the occasion as well. And United have got to... We've got to live up to the occasion. And that's exactly what we've got to do. We have to absorb that atmosphere, not get sort of weighed down by it. We have to buzz off that atmosphere. The fans will. Absolutely. It has to be. It really is. In that case, tonight is going to be the sort of symbolically everyone against United, because you're going to be surrounded by 50,000 raucous Galatasaray fans. It really is, in that stadium, it is everyone but United. So it's kind of that mentality of everyone but United, when you really think about it, is very reflective of how you have to approach an away game. Because if you don't, you're going to start listening to the crowd who are jeering you on, who are trying to rib you. You're going to start listening to the doubts in your head. And if you do that, then Galatasaray they're going to have fun with us tonight. Let me see what you're saying in the comments. 3-2 United scored last minute of the game. I'm not sure my heart could handle that, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Optimistic 2-0 win. I don't think it'll be a 2-0 win. I think they'll score. I do really think they'll score tonight. Onana, come out with an absolute scorcher performance, please. Teresa, you're going for a 2-1 win. Gavin, you're going for a 3-2 win. United, Carl, you're going for a 2-1 win. Quite a lot of you are confident. Okay. I hope you're right. And mine is I'm predicting 2-1, and that's the team you went for. Right, let's run through your team. Let's see if we can get 11 out of 11 as a community. You went for a back five of Nana, Shaw, Lindelof, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka. Midfield three of Mainu, McTominay, and Bruno. And a front three of Garnacho, Haaland, and Anthony. Let's see what goes on. Guy remains saying, hi, Sam. Joined a little bit late. Let's go over here. Who asked Ten Hag that question? I know exactly who asked it. It is this man. You'll probably recognize him. I think you will. He is, I believe, he's part of the I think he's one of like the lead presenters now on TNT Sports. I think it was definitely him. But I think Ten Hag already put him in his place. It's gonna be quite funny. I think you recognise him. But yeah, let's play that one more time. I'm pretty sure if you look at that face and listen to this voice, I think you
feels an important week for you. You're a little bit at a point where the season can really improve, or another crisis, as we like to see from the outside.
Yeah, you like it?
Well, I guess...
Okay, that's quite honest.
Yeah.
You want to see that, but we don't care about that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him. Yeah. Now that I've got the face there next to it, I'm pretty sure that's him. But look, let's move on. Last 10, 15 minutes of the show. I'm going to move on to speak about transfers, because there's been a lot of transfer noise this week, isn't there? We've had, well, it's United sales, right? We've had Timo Werner. We've had Carlo Ancelotti, if you want to put him in as a transfer. Anyway, rumour. Who else we had this week? Jeremy Frimpong. That's one we've had. And then you've got Antonio Silva from Benfica. And now you've got Jacob Steinberg from the Guardian saying Manchester United target 4. Let's get that full screen so you can actually see it properly. Man United target 4 winter signings. as Ten Hag searches for a boost. 4 signings in January. Honestly, somebody do some research quick if you can. Have United ever made 4 signings in January? I mean, I know we've made, was it Juan Mata was a big January signing, and Bruno Fernandes was a big family. Was it big family? I'm reading some comments down there. Bruno Fernandes was a massive January signing. Previously, you've had Vidic and Evra that we've signed, but they weren't sort of like top level signings. They were just like prospect signings that came really, really good. I think there's probably more chance of me playing for United than there is of United making 4 signings in January. I think it was yesterday, day before, I ran through the signings I actually wanted us to make in the summer, and I said centre back. Now it's written down there as a number 8 or defensive midfielder. I think what we need is a hybrid, and that's what Kobbie Mainoo is as well. You basically in those positions now you need 2 hybrid number 6, number 8s, and then more of a traditional number 8. Now, in my opinion, Bruno Fernandes is the traditional number 8. I think Kobbie Mainoo is one of those hybrids of his number 6, number 8. You don't really know which position he is, and what we need is another one of those. Someone like Amadou Onana from Everton really would fit that bill. I think, was it Vifa? The final central midfield. I think he's getting a lot of noise with linking him with Manchester United. But 4 signings in January, it's just like, hold up, mate. Hold on. That is more than wishful thinking. That is just kind of like paper guff. If we were to sign, I think I've already asked this question before, but it feels appropriate to sign it again. If we were to only make 1 signing in January, which would you want it to be? I think last time we had a bit of a split between a centre back or a striker. Maybe we can leave that as a poll for today. Everyone loves a good poll. Let's have a look. Everyone loves a poll. 1 January signing. What would you choose? What would you choose? CB or CF? All right. There you go. It's the only 2 options you're getting. No one else is writing any different positions down. All right. It's not happening. A few of you are writing right winger down. No, it's not happening. Saying centre back or centre forward. You're only getting 2 choices. All right. Is it a heart and a head moment? I mean, right now, like we're keeping clean sheets. Kept a clean sheet against Everton, kept a clean sheet against Fulham, kept a clean sheet against Burnley away from home, conceded 1 against Sheffield United, kept a clean sheet against Luton. You'd probably say that the biggest issue has been our attacking threat and our lack of goals. Because are we still? No, we're not now. I've just remembered that. We actually got some strikers scoring goals against Everton. I mean, there's only a couple. But actually, no, Garnacho counts as one as well. It was 3 goals. Garnacho, Rashford, and Martial. All 3 attackers scoring goals. We went from there was a 400% increase in how many goals our attackers have scored against Everton. That's only just clocked on me. Because remember, prior to that, we only had 1 goal between all of our attackers all season long. Damn. Lots of you going down there, you're saying that some of you are saying right wing. We need goals. We need more goals. Centre back. Clean sheets everywhere and struggling to score. This is easy. The biggest issue is defense, says down there. Hey, it's massively split. It's massively split. Let me see what the immediate reaction is on the poll. Oh, never mind. 200, just over 200 votes in the first minute, and 67% of you are saying centre back. I think the reason that a lot of people will be saying that is not just because we need to be keeping more clean sheets. It's because a lot of people will think, well, we need to be better at building out from the back with the ball, which is such a fundamental part of Ten Hag's style. And if we do that more and better, we'll create more chances. So I can understand why I wouldn't have expected it to be 67% though. Certainly we're keeping more clean sheets, but certainly at the same time, we're still not anywhere near good enough in building out from the back. I've opened a can of worms here. Yeah. I thought it was a straightforward question. Never mind. Rule number 1 of the internet. Cans of worms will probably be opened at every unexpected turn. Right. I should probably have learned that by now. I really, really should have. I wonder what that poll's going to be like at the end. I don't know. What would I prefer? Centre back or a centre forward? I think I'd probably. I think I'd rather we. It's because I don't think that any strike. I'm trying to think of, if we get a striker in January, it's going to be somebody who's over 30, who's basically a stopgap until the summer. I think that's the only kind of striker we can get in. Whereas centre back wise, I'm kind of in my head. I'm thinking about Todibo, which I don't think he's going to be leaving Nice. But I think there's more prospect of signing a striker who could actually be part of a long-term strategy and plan in January than there would be of signing a striker who's part of any sort of plan. Ross, you're mentioning Ivan Toney down there. Dude, guys, just get Ivan Toney out your head. All right? Ivan Toney, we are way outpriced. All right? He is in the grand scheme of things, he's somewhat looking like a 15, 20 goal a season Premier League striker. You're paying north of 75 mil for him. I actually think Toney would be a great signing. I genuinely can see him fitting into the squad profile wise. I think he actually suits. Financially, no, we are not going to be going after Toney. So I think it's just that in my opinion, is a pointless conversation. We're basically looking out for like poverty deals. We're looking out for loan signings in January. We're looking out for cheap signings, 10 mil or less. So I think there's more chance of getting that right in the centre back department than there is in the striker department. I don't know. Centre back and a stopgap striker, hoping it works out. I think that's probably the best that we can hope for in January, Glenn. I think that's the best we can hope for. Is one sort of cheap ass loan signing for Man United to be able to shift Jadon Sancho on and to be able to bring in a centre back who's actually got quality. I think that's the best case scenario. But the idea of getting 4 winter signings, as much as I would love to get excited about this feels like paper guff. And then you're seeing a couple of new players getting linked with us yesterday, like Florian Wirtz. Now, if anybody's been watching Bayer Leverkusen this season, they really are one of the most exciting teams to watch. If you get a chance, I would encourage you to watch it. We spoke about Jeremy Frimpong from early this week. Was it Grimaldo, the other fullback as well? Quite a few people speaking about him. But Florian Wirtz, man, at 20 years old, what he's doing in that midfield is, it's kind of unfair, really. Apparently, he's top of Bayern. It absolutely reeks. Absolutely reeks of a Bayern Munich signing that. Bayer Leverkusen, flying high in the league. I think they're on top with Bayern Munich. Who's their best player? Right, let's go and sign him. He is phenomenal to be doing what he's doing at the age of 20. He's German. It feels like he's probably going to be moving up to Bayern Munich. But apparently, we are observing him intensely. Just like we were observing Timo Werner, Jeremy Frimpong. I think we were linked with, Moscardo? Gabriel Moscardo? Like, he's an 18-year-old Brazil. No, he's 18. He's like a young Brazilian central midfielder. And there's more names thrown into it as well. Throw João Neves back into it. And it's like, well, here we go. The January transfer window starting. I am not. Next summer, I'm not doing that board again. That was a good idea and a bad idea. I'm sure I can come up with something. But ideally, I reckon what I need to get here, I'm trying to look at like the structure that we got in the studio here. I probably could do with like a stand, like a vertical screen here. I think that could be cool. Like a digital one that I can then change and sort of fire stuff over. Then it will get in the way of the sign. I don't know. I don't rightly know. I think that's a good idea. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be... João Neves, I don't think we'll be going for. I think we're going to get outpriced on him. Antonio Silva is a possibility, but that's a big old money. Big old bit of money for him, and far more likely to be the summer. Florian Wirtz. I mean, you can see, I'm talking about like number 6, 8 hybrids. I think he kind of falls pretty into that. Florian Wirtz could be a great signing, but I think Bayern Munich could be all over him, and it would cost like way too much. Chris, you're saying green frames on the wall so you can add random images. No, at this moment in time, the software I use, I can't use that. Not currently. That's why I'm still working on this. If there's anybody, by the way, who's good with software, I suppose I should ask this really. If there's anybody who's really good with software, I've been at the testing stage. So I've already designed everything with the new software. But what I need to do to get it working for the community is take it into a testing environment, do test streams on YouTube and Facebook, make sure all the comments are coming in, that you can engage. If you want to be involved in it, it's a little bit of legwork. And I've never had the time to be able to do it. So if you want to, reach out to me and maybe we can set up like an hour or so in the afternoon. I can do up some private test streams and then sort of bring you in, because that's what I need to do. I'm just at a testing stage. And once I got it, the thing that's not working properly is like when somebody sends in a super chat and the message that pops up, because it's all completely unique now. It's all been designed, and it just takes, this testing stage has taken clearly longer than it has taken for me to actually get them designed in the first place. But let's see. Last couple of minutes of the show. Fire any comments. And I have no idea what name you just put there, and I'm not going to try and pronounce it either. Girassi? No idea. Do the board again, says Kenny. I will do the board, but I'm going to do it digitally during the summer. That's the step up. Like we've made a huge step up here in how we presented everything, and I think we can make the step up from a whiteboard with a pen to a digital board where we can do it digitally, and I can probably pull it up on screen as well. So that's definitely the next step up. Harbid, you're saying Wirtz is more of a central attacking midfielder. Yeah, if you're looking at the setup of Bayer Leverkusen, you've got the 3 at the back. He's certainly more aggressive as part of that midfield, but he is a very good midfielder. All right. Fellaini. Mate. You may as well play McTominay out front if you're going to bring Fellaini back. That's what I think anyway. How's Mitchell looking, says Dan. Hey, look. Got the update from David Ornstein yesterday. I think Jim Ratcliffe's even on holiday this week. That's what the Muppeteer said. Nah, I don't think we're going to be getting any update on the takeover this week. It really is a case of when and not if. But the frustration for us all is that our January window is going to be affected by it. It always was, but it certainly is now, because it's the 29th of November and we've still not got anything. Lone Wolf saying coffee or tea? Bombshell here. Neither. I don't really do hot drinks. Don't really do caffeine that much. Unless I'm hungover and I get like a Lucozade. They got caffeine in it? Is that taurine? Sod knows. I just don't really do hot drinks. Don't know. Sorry, everyone. What are we saying down here? If it's digital, can also be put into Discord, says Carl. That digital screen for the next summer, that's definitely going to be happening. I just need to figure out the best way to do it, whether it's a physical one here, whether it's a digital one I physically bring on screen here. Not quite sure. But look, tonight is going to be a cracker. That's Matt Smith. I don't want to put up a picture of Matt Smith. It really is going to be a cracker. 5:45 UK time kickoff. Don't forget, don't get caught out. All right. I'll be here. What time? I don't know. 8 o'clock. That'll be the match reaction. My predictions are 2-1. I don't know what to expect in the game. I didn't know what to expect in the Everton game, and United pleasantly surprised me. So much has been said about our ability or our inability to handle hostile atmospheres. We more than handled Everton. But Galatasaray is going to be a huge step up from that, and so is Newcastle. Question there from Alan saying, Arms on Discord or YouTube. Thank you very much for reminding me of about that, Alan. I'm going to be, after this, I'm going to go into Arms and create the event inside Discord. All right. So if you're a member, you can just check out the members only stage, and that's where I'm going to be doing the United People's TV Arms. Hopefully sponsored by Beavertown in the future. Imagine that. Come on, Beavertown. Someone help me get Beavertown on board. That would be, you know when you get a sponsor that's actually wicked, like good fun. Beavertown. If I can get Beavertown involved, that would be amazing. So anybody, give me a hand. Let's get Beavertown involved. But look, big up to everybody. Thank you all. We got someone down there saying that, oh, Sam, do some giveaways. Well, we got a serious raffle that's going to be starting in a couple of days' time because it's Christmas. All right. You know what the raffles were last time? It's only £1 per ticket. And then it doesn't matter how many buy tickets, 10 of you, 50 of you, doesn't matter. I'm going to be giving something cracking away. All right. And you're definitely going to want to get involved in this. But big up to all of you. Thank you for watching. Drop a like on the video if you can. I'll be back after the game, but before the game for half an hour. So from 5:15 UK time, I'll be in the Arms talking to you as members on Discord. All right. Take it easy.